How's it going, New World? Sethphir here, and we are back once again, finally on the PTR, my home away from home, the place where I belong, and I will be spending most of my time here in the next couple coming weeks to make sure that I can test out all the great stuff and tell you what the deal is going on right now. So currently on the PTR, we have the Dungeon Mutations that are in play, and I have been hard at work testing these out. I have cleared the first 4 floors, and I am on the 5th one, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you my day 1 thoughts on the mutation system, the gear score upgrade from 600 to 625, and then later tomorrow I will make a series of videos covering these things. So I'm gonna tell you all the details, eventually, like, okay, how hard is it, what's the difficulty levels, what do I think you need for it. I'm gonna explain the systems, I'm gonna explain the gear that I use, I'm going to explain the gear score system and all that good stuff coming up, so I'm going to get to all those changes, but for now this video is just going to be day 1 impressions. So we first started this when it came out. It was like, what's 3 p.m. or something like that, 2 or 3 EST, or sorry, PST, and we hopped on the PTR and we started playing some runs, and I got to do a few in before I had to go do some stuff on the actual live servers. But we cleared from floors 1 to 2, and then today I cleared 3 and 4 as well. We are now on 5. We have the gold ranking for each of these, which is a max point value. There's some sort of like scoring system within the game, and it's ranked bronze, silver, and gold, and if you get silver, then you're able to advance to the next rank or mutation level, I suppose, difficulty level, whatever you want to call that. And basically there's a few categories here. There's normal, intermediate, hard, and then elite, and these will each come with additional perks or curses or buffs to the monsters that are going to be happening, and you're going to have to deal with new mechanics as the system progresses. So it's going to be very interesting to see a lot of this stuff happening here because it plays out very nicely. And I hear a lot of people talking about, oh no, I'm so worried about the gear score being 625, and what happens, am I going to get left behind in items and gear score and all this stuff. None of that. Don't even worry about any of that. Items are dropping like crazy in these dungeons. You get like 40 to 50 purples a run. In the higher ranks, when you scale your gear score up, I'm getting like 4 to 5 legendaries constantly every single run. So you're getting a lot of really good and powerful items that'll be coming in here. And since we have 600 expertise, or, you know, kind of cap expertise on the PTR, for those of you who are lower expertise, do not worry as well, because I think with the amount of items that are dropping here, 590 plus, you're gonna see incredibly crazy expertise upgrades coming in, even from the tier 1 difficulty mutation. And this thing is not that hard. Tier 1 was slightly harder than a level 60 Expedition, right? It wasn't too difficult. The tier 2 was decent, and tier 3 is where we really started to see a bit of ramp up in terms of difficulty, with the extra promotion mechanic being added in, which buffed all the monsters with unique power-ups. So that was definitely interesting. We're going to be clearing the number 5 here today on day 2, so I'll start getting hard at work on all of that, and I'll let you guys know how the hard mode and the elite mode goes out. But I've done these with pugs, I've done these with my team. You can clear them, especially these first couple of floors. They're not too difficult, and every time you clear one of these, you're going to get some cool stuff like Umbral Shards, which is the new system that allows you to upgrade any item in the game that is 600 gear score up to 625 gear score. So that's going to be the new way that things are going to be shaking out. You're going to get a lot more items, especially 600 gear score items, from these mutated dungeons. So you're going to be able to choose from a lot of good items with strong perks. So no longer will you only have to pray and craft and, you know, do all that stuff just to get 1 perk guaranteed. You can get a vast pool of items dropping from these mutated dungeons that are all going to be very, very powerful, and you're going to be able to have your choice from a lot of different perk lines, and it's going to be very accessible even to players that don't play that much, right? So this is going to be the best part about this. And I know I saw a lot of stuff on the forums like, oh, I'm so concerned, and the gear system, and it's going to lock out the people. I don't think it's like that, actually. Having played it in the game, right? Having actually played the game, I think you're you're going to get powered up over time. You're going to gain Umbral Shards every time you do a mutated dungeon, and that's going to be used to power up your items. You can also get Umbral Shards through the Gypsum system, as well as the crafting system at 600. So anything you do well in this game, you will get Umbral Shards for, and all of these will be stockpiled to increase your gear score, right? Your expertise or gear score, whatever you want on the item. And to give you a bit of a reference too, I have a staff here at 611. As you can see, it's not very much different from a 600 staff, and in fact, it has the exact same attribute points. The only thing that increases is the damage slightly and the amount of value on the perks. As you can see, my refreshing move has 2.9% instead of 2.8% at 611 gear score, so there's a slight scaling there. So you're not going to be left in the dust just because you don't have all 625 gear instantly, but that being said, you can get 625 gear very quickly, and you can choose which 600 legendary you got. This was from my previous run. I got every single one of these legendaries in this last run, on the 4. So these are the amount of choices that you're going to get to choose from. So every time you go into a mutated dungeon, and especially if you clear some of the higher levels, you're going to get tons of items. So if you don't have a 600 item already, you're going to get one, and you're going to get one fast. And it's going to be, you're going to have a few choices to choose from. So here I have 2 different muskets, you know, maybe they're the same type, but you can get all kinds of cool stuff coming in here. So this is definitely a system that's going to help you catch up. It's a system that's going to allow you to even make use of the items that you currently have, because any item that is 600, you can power up to 625. And as far as I have seen, no items have been dropping above 600 in the dungeon yet, from what I've seen, and I've upgraded each and every one of my armor pieces just to test this. I haven't received a single armor piece over 600, so I think what upgrading the expertise is going to do is going to increase your value or like that minimum range, right? So no longer will I find gear score items 580 and lower. I instead will only find 595 and above, or maybe only 600. Like they have to be 600. Since you can scale up to 625, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to force higher level items to drop for you, and thus allowing you to get those 600 items that are potentially legendary that you can upgrade and use your Umbral Shards on. But all in all, I think it is a great system. I've had a load of fun. There's a lot of challenges and difficulty for this. It's very exciting to perform well as a group and to prepare well as a group, develop strategies within the dungeon, and pull and learn as you go. When we first started, our clear time for number 1 was longer than our clear time for like number 3 or 4, because we started learning how to do the dungeon. We started learning the mechanics of the dungeon. So it's going to take a little bit to get used to, but it is very, very, very fun. Let me assure you this. We're having a blast, and we will continue to power through and keep clearing as much as we can possibly do on the PTR. So we're going to go ahead and keep diving into those, and I'll update you guys on my thoughts on the system as it develops over time. But for now, I'm going to reserve my judgment a bit. It seems challenging, and I like that. And I would hate to see it nerfed, because it gives some in-game content and to people that, you know, want to strive for that, and I think that's a good median for that. I think that players that also can't reach this, 10 difficulty, that's okay. You can still do 6, 7, or wherever it is you fall in, and you'll still get a large amount of shards. Like here, for 7 clear, you can get 1,500 Umbral Shards. That's an insane amount. You need about 3,000 to upgrade to a 625 piece. So if you just did 2 of these 7s, you would have a 625 piece of gear of your choice. If you did that, let's see, however many times of gear slots you have, you would have full max 625 gear, and no problem there. You will be able to catch up with everything. But so far, this has been fantastic. I like the way that the mutations shuffle every week. So this week is currently void damage. Supposedly, on the PTR, it's supposed to be every 48 hours instead of every week. So we're going to get a new shuffle here pretty soon. As you can see, this change timer is going over quickly. But this is going to be the void damage avenue, and then we are going to see probably another one that's going to be fire, one for nature and one for ice, so it's going to be cool to see what kind of different perks you have in here. We have everything ranging from explosion under the feet of players to mana drain mechanics, life stealing mechanics, and all the good stuff is definitely going to be in there. So a lot of exciting new content to see, and tons of powerful new items as well. You're going to see stuff coming from Dynasty Shipyard and 600 versions of that gear, as well as items that are going to be dropping. You can see here on the side, if I go down to the tier 10, there's 30 difficulty items that are going to be dropping within that dungeon, so there's all kinds of goodies for you to find, epic legendary versions of them, all kinds of cool stuff here, and a lot of them are tailored for specialty gear for the dungeon. So PvE gear will matter. Crafters will be able to craft really good PvE pieces, and people will be interested in buying that. It's going to put a giant boom in the economy, and you get tons of gold and resources for doing these mutated dungeons, so it's going to be fantastic to see that kind of liveness freshen up the game at the moment. So that's about all I got for now. That's going to be day one's impressions. I'm pretty satisfied with it for now. I'm going to keep testing it to see maybe it needs to be fine-tuned a bit. Maybe it's a little too hard. Maybe it's too easy. Maybe you need to be able to go into the dungeon more times. It needs to be more accessible. I'm going to let you guys know all that stuff. So for now, I'm just going to be working hard to test the system as is, as Amazon has it in the game, and I'm going to give a full feedback and kind of submit all that information so that we can hopefully get it adjusted to a level that makes all players of all difficulties very happy, because we care about the people that play casually, we care about the people that play hardcore, we care about everyone that plays the game, because I mean, that's why we're here, right? Like, the game is fun, we like the game, we're interested in the game, we want to see it do well, and we want it to succeed, or at least I do, that's how I feel. So I'm going to provide any feedback or input that can help get it to that point where it can do so. All right, thanks for your time and watching the video, everyone. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell. We also have a join button if you're interested in becoming a member down below, and a Discord, as well as social medias in the description link, so make sure to check those out and follow us. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next video.